Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and a continuation of our journey through making a Morgana album. So the Morgana album is a kit I've designed and a project I've designed with Cool Katz Crafts in mind. So you can get the kit for the frame directly from their shop, so have a look in the link below. But hopefully you've already seen all the information for that in the previous videos. And we've gone on now to page 4 and 5. So what we've got done so far is assembled this using their tape, which comes in the kit. We've covered the front. We've done page 1, which is this nice deep pocket. And of course it's a pocket page, so we can put more stuff inside. And we've done page 2 and 3, which are nice swivels with some hidden pockets as well. And space for 6x4 photos and some small ephemera in a magnetic closure. So we're now moving on to page 4 and 5. So let's pull 4 and 5 out. So again, I've got them labelled with the arrow pointing up so I don't make a mistake. And 4 and 5, as you can see in the photos here, and I'm using my Enchanted Forest one to show you this time, is a nice simple catch-up page. And basically it's 2 deep pockets, and I'm going to be showing how to make these photo pouches at some point in a separate video. But these are great because they use 6x4 piece of paper, so perfect. You can get 2 of these out of your 8x8 paper, or if you've got leftover 12x12, you can make 6 of these, or even 3 of these and 2 of these mini 3x4 envelope wallets as well. So you can make 5 photo pouches from 1 sheet 12x12, which is fab. And here I've used some of the Batwing belly band dies with some Batwing tags as well, using the photo slots inside, and some regular photo mats as well. So there's room here just to stuff in loads of ephemera. So it's a nice catch-up page, so because they're both identical, which means we can make both pages at the same time. And the cutting list is nice and easy, but you just got to remember we've got to cut 2 of each one. Just put that aside. And I'm cutting both of my pages at the same time just for time. So we're going to cut it at 8 3/4. And turning it around, I'm going to cut the first one at 4. And the second one at 2. So I'm actually lining up on the right hand side this time, in case you're wondering why it was bigger than 2. And we can put our trimmer to the side. So we've got 2 of our 8 3/4 by 4 and 2 8 3/4 by 2. So let's bring in our scoreboard. And it says, on these larger pieces, with the 8 3/4 on top, we're going to score half, rotate it, half. And with a 4-inch on top, at half. And just repeat on this one. So half, rotate and half, 4-inch on top. Oh, jumped out of the channel. 4. And then with these two, slightly different, we're going to score 8 3/4 on top at half. And then we're going to rotate and half. Just do it on both. And half. And then it says, with the 2-inch on top, we're going to score at 1/2 inch a line, then mark slightly further in. Oh, sorry, to the 1/2 inch line. So we're going to come, 2-inch score to the 1/2 inch. So at 1/2 inch, we're going to score down to the 1/2 inch line we'd already scored, and just a little bit further. And then we're going to rotate it, but this time we're going to flip it. this way. In fact, I think I'll change that word from rotate to flip and repeat. So what I've got now is, hopefully you can see, my 1/2 inch coming down, and then at 1/2 inch we're going across and just a little bit further. So it's just a guide for me as opposed to a score line. So 1/2 inch, just past, flip, and just past the 1/2 inch. So let's just grab my pencil. So what I'm going to say is, instead of rotate, let's put flip. So these are guidelines rather than full score lines. See the video for clarification, which you're watching now. So we've got our 2 bottom pockets and our 2 top pockets. So let's have a look at our tape. Same as we've done in the previous videos, we're going to tape inside each of these 1/2 inch, making sure I'm not covering the score line. And this one. And then on these ones, we're going to put the piece down to that 1/2 inch. And the same on this one. And this one. There we go. Now, if you've got this far, I'm taking you've seen the other videos. So I'm just going to do that miter. So to that corner and sharp turn. To the corner, sharp turn. And that's just to, that turn is just to stop it from having too much bulk with both your corners overlapping there. And then these ones are slightly different. With this one, so wait for it to come in focus, we're going to come up. So there's the score line. So I was going to cut the score line, I was cut there. But what I'm going to do is just come slightly out. So I'm cutting at a slight angle, and again here. So there's the vertical line. So I'm just coming angled in, and there's the vertical, so I'm just angling in a little bit more. So we've got that. So again, we've got another one to do. So we're going to, there's the score line, so I'm just going to cut there. So, and there. It's got this little 1/2 inch square here. So I'm going to cut it out. So these ones have got no horizontal score line. So we just have the 2 flaps to fold back. And this one. So hopefully you'll still be able to see that little score line which we came just over by there, which is going to be our guide. And then these ones need to be as flat as we can make it. And this one. I'm just going to push them a bit sharper. And here. Right, let me put them this way so you can see what we've got. and page 4 and 5 are coming in. So start on page 4. Now I find it easier to flip 4 upside down, and we're going to place this so the open is on the top, but as we stick it down, it's going to be like so. And it's going to line up the corners and press it down, and then take away the tape from the side and bring it down. If you're working upside down like I do, there we go. I don't know why I find it easier to work like this, but I'm always rotating the pages just so I can get my lining corners at the top of my page. Or as at the top of the page as I'm working on it. And again, if you wanted to put some black tape before sticking down the sides, just to stop it catching, you can. So these ones are in fact the higher one. So we're going to take off the 2 flaps, and this slides in, and those 2 little notches that we marked on that 1/2 inch line are a guide, it said. So when we tuck it in, we just stop at those 2 score lines and stick it down. So those 2 alignment things, sorry, line up with the top of my pocket. So the little notch there and the little notch there that we scored. I said it's not a score line. If you want to go all the way across, you can. But what I found was when I did that before, I tended to fold it, thinking it was a score line, and add tape and things, which you don't need to be doing. And there we go. So we've got 2 pockets then on each. So this is just a strip, but so it goes all the way down to the bottom of our page. So it's a nice deep pocket, which it all goes down into. It also hangs. You can use these little pouches, and they just sort of hang onto there, which are quite nice. So yeah, check out the video for the 3x4 photo pockets. So which paper should we use this time? Well, I've chosen already the Fantasy Cove one. So we're going for these lilac-y purples this time, and purple on the back. And we actually only need 2, so I'm going to have that 3rd one free for some photo mats and things. So again, we're going to go 7.5 inches wide. So let's cut that. By 7.5. And our bottom pockets, I'm cutting both papers at the same time. We're 4 inches, so I'm going to go back to 4 3/4. So that is going to cover our bottom pieces. I've cut that wrong now, haven't I? It wasn't, it was 3 3/4. I may need to do a little bit of repair work. 3 3/4. I bet you were all shouting at me. I went loud. Oh, actually, no, it was 4 inches was the size of my cut piece. It's 3.5. So I need to cut this a 3 1/4. What a big mistake I've done here. 3 3/4. Let me just check. Will either of these cover both? No. What am I going to do? Okay. 3 1/4. Luckily, I do have that other piece. 3 3/4. That's going to be my bottom pieces. Let's have a look. So I did plan on having pattern continuation here. It's not going to happen now because I have messed up, haven't I? Let's have a look. And what would normally happen is I would actually have a choice. So I would normally have cut 3 1/4, then cut a piece at 1 1/2, and then the rest would have fitted as a layer there. So being 3 1/4 and let's say 1 1/2, wasn't it? Yeah, 1 1/2, and then the rest would be the top there. Obviously, I have now messed up, so I'm gonna fix it just by using, so it'd be 1 1/2, wasn't it? I can actually go a little bit further this time. 1 1/2 and 1 1/2. So imagine now that is all pattern repeated. So what you could do is flip over the 2 middle ones. What you can have is a pattern continuation both sides. What you can do is flip over these 2 and have a diagonal separate, different ones. But what I was planning on this one was to have pattern continuation on those 2 and flipping the bottom. But it's going to look very strange now. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to flip, I think this time, the 2 middle pieces. Like so. And hopefully I'll have so much other stuff going on, you won't realise. Well, that was a big mistake, but I think we've managed to rectify it. Just not going to be doing what I originally hoped. So these large bottom ones are great for the smaller. There is a smaller rectangle, which is this size, but I haven't got the slotter piece. But you've got slots which will cut in. Oh, hang on, I have. So you could fit in 2 little photo slots here. And what you can do, if you've got a landscape one, you can cut out of your photo map piece a little picture and you can slot it in. They can be interactive and be swapped for photos. So there is space for doing that here. In fact, should we do it? I think we will. Because my original plan was to put a straight pierced slot in, which I'll also show you as an option. So I was going to use my long straight pierced slot pocket along there, so I'd just have a little space to tuck them in. But let's use the photo slots instead, because if you've seen my which die should I buy first from Cool Katz, the photo slot dies are the top. They are number 1. And you'll see why in a second. I'm sure a lot of you just come to watch my videos, see what mistakes I do. Let's see if I can actually rectify my mistakes. And you've had another one today. Oh, in fact, what I could do with those 2 pieces I didn't use, I could do my belly bands, couldn't I, and put them there. Right, let's put these in place. And the purple one. And we're just going to focus on these 2 pieces. And I'm going to be able to cut them at the same time. These Cool Katz dies are quite robust workhorses. So I'm going to use some repositionable tape and see if I've got something here to help me. Yes. So this one is just about the same width, same width as this one. So I'm using it just as a guide for the width. So I can put it there. So this is my photo slot die. So it's going to cut 4 little rounded corners in my paper. So again, just using my Platinum 6, well used as you can see from these plates, and yet still works perfectly. Well, you may have noticed that I had a bit of an issue there and my camera actually fell over, which is why I don't normally do my die cutting on the table, because it does shake things around. And as a result, it did fall, and I put it back up and carried on. Thinking it was still recording, it didn't. So what you see here is actually the final piece. Now, of course, there's going to be a piece missing of some tips on how to line these up. So I'm going to go back through it, but on a separate piece, because obviously I haven't got enough papers to make it all again. So I'm leaving my mistake in, and I'm going to show you what I did. So what I've done here is I've cut a piece at 2 3/4 by 7 3/8. And so it's a bit shorter than this, bit different, but I'm going to show you what I was going to do with the gluing and things. So what I've got here is my photo slot cut in. So I've done one, just like I was doing in that video, and I'd used my other one, which was the same width, as a guide just for width so that I could evenly space them. Then I took my photo cards and I cut 4 of these out to fill in the gaps. So what I've done then is just tucked it inside there. So you'll see what it cut for me was 4 little quarter circle slots, which you would slot your photo mat into. So what I did then on these pieces was I took the one I'm not using and I placed it, and it sort of just slotted in to my space there, which meant then I could sort of evenly match the top of this die with the top of there and work out the gap in between so that they are nice and evenly matted. And then I cut it again. This time I'm going to do it on the floor. I'm not taking that risk again. So that is how I used the other die from the set, which is the same width, just to use it as a sort of guide for me. And then I inked the edges. And you know what, I'm going to actually use this. And this is quite a cool little sort of film strip photo mat, I suppose. And I'm going to use this in the pocket. So I've cut a piece of cardstock. So this was originally cut to fit onto the pocket. This one then has obviously got a different piece. So I've cut this then at, this was 2 3/4, so this is 3 inches by 7 5/8. And it'll just mat on like so. But I don't want to glue it flat down now. So what I did with these, and I showed you, even though you'll never see that video, is I tuck in the photo mats. Luckily, there was nothing complicated left with the matting laying with the papers there. You're going to see everything that I wanted to. Ooh, this photo mat is upside down. Not the makes difference, but the stitching, it needs to be seen. There we go. So that is how your photos would go. Now, I can't remember if I showed you before it fell or not, but what you've got is this die, which cuts the photo mat. So if you've got your 6x4 photos, you can take this die and you can put it on your photo, put it down and trim it out. And they will slot in there and you can interchange them then. And again, the carpenters have started up again. I thought they'd stopped with next door's fence, but it seems they've carried on. There we are. Right, so with the gluing, I've got the black card showing through. That is the corner of our photo mat. So I want to keep my glue away from those corners. So I'm going to go around the edge. And then just sort of do a cross in the middle and a cross sort of shape there. And then I glued it down. That is what you missed when the camera fell. So it wasn't too bad. I've been able to rescue and show you everything I wanted to show you. But of course, I was working that way. And that is what happened off camera with these pages. So it's actually given me another little extra project. So you can tuck that in like so. So you can tuck in and you can pick it out, put it in diagonally. And then these pockets are great then for stuffing. So we can put some of our Cool Cat clips, which are brilliant. I have already got a video on how to make these. Did it a few months back. So you can just make some of these to pop in. I've also, in some albums, glued them down on that bit so that you can just tuck some ephemera pieces in like so. So that's quite a nice other way of using these clips. Also perfect for those photo wallets I've been telling you about, or just plain photo mats. There will be a separate video on how to make these. So they are great for 3x4 photos. You can get them out of these papers if you've got a sheet left, or if you've got a 12x12 sheet of a matching paper pad, you can actually make 4 of these. And you can just keep stuffing and stuffing. You can stick some ephemera pieces and clips. So that is, well, it was meant to be the easy catch-up page, but my cutting went wrong, my filming went wrong, but we got there in the end. So hopefully, through all my disasters, you have enjoyed pages 4 and 5. And hopefully, if I haven't scared you off, you'll come back for page 6 and 7 as well. So yeah, page 6 and 7 are meant to be a little bit more complicated than this one, but hey, how could I have gone so wrong with this one? So you see, our album is coming together nicely. We've got quite a few pages done now. So we've got our page, our cover, page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4. So page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will be up next. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It'll tell you when the next video goes live. And if you haven't already, please give it a little thumbs up and a comment below. I do like to hear what you think. And tell me about your own disasters if you want as well. So thank you for watching. Head to the Cool Katz shop and the Facebook groups, mine and theirs, for extra ideas on how to use their tools and album ideas. And I'll see you all again in the next installment. Happy crafting!